No mai, haere mai, kia ora koutou katoa, and welcome to Pullman Park in Papakura for the start of the New Zealand Rugby League Premiership, and this will be round one, match one. It will be the county's Manukau Stingrays against Waikato, live here on Sky Sport 4, the home of the great game of rugby league. Hello folks, Stephen McIver, Monty Beetham at your place, wherever that place might be, on a very busy weekend in the city of South. Of course, Mons, just down the road, one of your favourite sports, the ITM Super Sprint is hot and going, and there's crowds everywhere. But right now, over the next couple of hours, in fact 4 hours, the best of regional rugby league. And you've done this regional rugby league. What is it, a real privilege to represent your region?
I think it is, and for some people that's as far as they go in their rugby league career, but that's fantastic if you can represent your region where you're from. For me, it was South Auckland, it was Manukau back in the day. It was a very proud moment. Then I put on the Auckland jumper at the back end of that, and the Kiwis. So whatever level you're able to achieve at, it's a great day, and if it's on TV.
And if it's on TV, of course, the home of the great game Sky Sport 4, where of course the Roosters beat up the Bunnies last night. Couldn't believe that one. But look, this is what you've got to look forward to over the next 4 hours or so, depending on how these games wash out. Stingrays against Waikato, and that's followed by the defending champions, the Falcons, up against the Bulls. Let's talk first of all, though, about the county's Manukau Stingrays and Waikato. And there was a player in there who was in the Warriors camp for a while, young Aaron Clark, now 22. I told him he looked 42, but he's only 22. And the word on the street is he wants to get back and potentially push again to play pro league.
Well, that excites me. I think we first saw him on our TV screens when he was 17 years of age, when he was playing for the Warriors. He had a wonderful career in the under-20s division. A very good player who can play in multiple positions today. He's playing in the hooking role. He can kick out of dummy half, and I'm glad to see, although he's not from Fox, so he's not in the Premier Division here. He's played for Manjirewa, but he is a player of immense calibre, and I think he'll be a real key point of difference today.
Yeah, really interesting to know that the county's Manukau Stingrays don't have any of the Fox Memorial team, the Howick Hornets in there. Probably still partying and wind up, but we'll ask that question of their coach a little bit later on. And then you've got Waikato, who are overachievers in many ways. Made the final a couple of years ago, but they bring a lot to it, don't they, the Waikato side?
Look, Hayden Karena, he's a guy who's been in, around, and been on the TV many times before. He's in a key role there, number 9. He's played in the halves previously, but there's some new blood coming in. You know, if you've got the right mix of the experience with the young heads coming through with that enthusiasm on a day like today when the service is pristine, I think we've got the makings of a very good day of rugby league.
Yeah, Pullman Park does do one thing. They produce a great serve. It is like carpet out there, but this is wide open space, and you have to ask that question, Mons. That wind could be a factor.
You know, the perception that you've got the perfect ground to play open running football is one thing in your mind. The sun is out, the surface is great. However, that wind you mentioned is pretty bad. So you've got to think about that with the long passes. You've got to think about that with communication, and also the kicking game. Which end of the field you're going to play on as a result of how good that kicking game is. We'll soon find out.
Yes, we will. 2 matches of footy to play. Here's a reminder about last year's grand final and what unfolded.
It really is the cream rising to the top. These two teams have been the very best, and it's fitting that this grand final should be played between these traditional rivals.
Chase Bernard has it, and he's in beside the post that quickly, and no problem. And they've got numbers down the left side. Tavita threads the needle. It's over the top, into the arms on the far side, and James Tomata scores. What a try for the Falcons. Look at that cut-out ball, that easy and that good. Why not dive in that way to James Tomata? But they cannot stop the wave, the Falcon wave. And that's all there was. 51-20, what a fantastic performance here by the Falcons. They are the three-peat champions of the NZRL Premiership.
And we'll get an indication today when they face up to the Canterbury Bulls under Andrew Almatangi whether or not the Akarana Falcons are going to go maybe make it 4. Andrew Almatangi of Canterbury, of course, he's in his 4th season with them. Also had a 4th win with the Linwood Club, of which he coaches. And Monty, he said to me just earlier, he said, well, this is the first time I've faced Auckland first up and around. I think he's a little excited, albeit nervous.
I think everyone's going to have a little bit of nerves, but excitement as well. And the fact that you can see everyone on the same pitch at the opening round means you can have a little look. Although you've got to think about your own game, about what you do, and get that right. And that normally is the key difference here, not worrying about others too much.
Got to watch that little peekaboo, don't you? All right, it's time to check team list, and it's a warmish welcome to Richie Bunnett and our koro. Hello, Dale.
Tēnā koe, Stephen. Nei tā te mihi kia koutou katoa. It's a warm welcome to Wiki o Te Reo Māori. And like you say, the track here is absolutely fantastic at Pullman Park. Well, this is a very, very fine team that Spencer Taplin has.
at his disposal. Dowie has really been slaying them as well. He's played so strong in the Fox Premiership. We go into Paki and Radic around the halves, and they've got some big units. Connor Purcell with Pitta and the talented Aaron Clark in the front row. The bench too is strong with Holani, Ariaiti, Varfisi and Patello, and they're all out there doing their best for coach Spencer Taplin.
Spencer Taplin coaches Counties Manukau again in 2019, finalists last year. Different story in 2019 when it comes to the makeup of your squad. A lot of young, fresh talent.
Yeah, a lot of boys on debut, getting rewarded for their hard work throughout the season, and you know, when you work hard, things happen, and that's what's occurred for them.
We've been looking through the squad. No Howard players, Fox Memorial champions. What gives there?
There was an opportunity for the club to put some names forward. For whatever reasons, they opted not to, and a few of their players were contacted and chose not to. But all it does is open up the doors for these young men to have an opportunity to put their names forward as well. So it's good.
Spencer, who are you excited about today?
Looking forward for Aaron getting out, Aaron Clark getting to go out there. He's excited too. So looking at him to have a good game. Couple of big boppers up front, off the bench. There's some heavy artillery there, and just seeing how they go. They're new to this national competition, but I think they're going to take a lot from it, and from today as well, to help them grow as individuals.
Go get him, mate.
Yeah, no worries, brother.
Spencer Taplin had a good year too with the Papakura Sea Eagles winning the final of the Fox Premiership. Spencer, let's have a look at the Waikato lineup as well here. And Morgan Kutia is at the helm. These two young ones not playing in the squad, but let's have a look at the squad coming up in a moment. It's Brown, Cutting and Palangi across the front row. A couple of floods in there. A few on debut today as well. Martinez at the back. Dwayne Sykes knows his way around the track. He'll be supported there in the 6 by Reynard Haggie. And a number of Ngātawa Wakia Panthers in there today. Again, a strong bench. Very proud region and producers of rugby league talents, Waikato. Let's hear from their coach.
Morgan Kutia coaches Waikato in the NZRL National Premiership. Back again for another tilt. How's your pre-season been, Morgan?
Yeah, it's been up and down, mate, to be honest with you. But once again, it's a privilege to be here to play in the big stage.
Squad of 25, are they all pushing for starting spots?
They all are, and so the players that are coming out today, they know that there are other people putting them under pressure.
The one battle we're looking forward to, Hayden Karana against Aaron Clark. Are you looking forward to that?
Well, that's all I got to say, mate. Those two are experienced, and it's going to be huge for those two.
A little bit of wind today. Into your hands or out of your hands? What are you going to do with it?
Well, it's always windy here for some reason, but we just play with the conditions, and it's coming this way, so we just have to kick this way.
Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, the wind will be a factor here. There's no doubt about that today. More an easterly than the traditional sou'wester with us, and in commentary, Richie Barnett, sideline Monty Beetham, and great to be working with you once again. Rich, I just mentioned the pride in the jersey for Waikato. You'll remember your former coach Joe Gwynn when he had the Cougars in the Bartercard Cup, but there have been some wonderful players who have emerged out of that proud rugby league region. And of course, Counties Manukau now one of the powerhouses of regional rugby league in Aotearoa as we await them coming on to the track. What are you expecting here today, and how important the start, Richie?
Massively important, Dale. Tēnā koe, mate. Waikato, it's very important they get off to a really good start. They're playing against a side that's been conditioned, and just listening to what Morgan Kutia was saying before, it looked like they're lacking a bit of preparation, so that's a real concern. But the Stingrays there, under the guidance of Spencer Taplin, they're really eager to get out there. They haven't won since 2015. They are eager to beat the Akarana side, and I'm looking forward to see what Waikato bring under the guidance of Hayden Karena, who is very experienced.
Kia ora and welcome to Bruce Pullman Park in Auckland South as we go to the very first round of the New Zealand Rugby League Premiership. It's a condensed format. 4 teams will vie for top honours here today. And of course starting off with Waikato, and they'll be lining up here against the Counties Manukau Stingrays. A long club season and it's down to representative football and a wonderful international calendar to come. So there's a bit to play for here for these two teams. Resident spots on the line. Waikato will form a haka by the looks of the way that they are coming together. It's a wonderful part of their culture around Waikato Tainui. Wonderful to have Sky, who have been terrific supporters of Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. This contest is available too with Māori commentary, as has been much of the sport through this past week. And hats off to the head honchos of Sky Sport, who recognise the importance of Te Reo Māori in our country. It unites us in many ways. Counties Manukau, of course, they are always strong as well. As we await to start with the big number 8, Puffy Brown, for Waikato. She played a season-ending first game against Waikato. From Tani Wharau, an injury, and was out most of the year, but they're a proud region. They'll be playing left to right, effectively into what will be a crosswind going across the field towards the far side of the field. Paki Harrison has control of today's fixture. Waiting for Sky, that's us. We're ready to go. Paki, off you go, mate. Great to be beside Richie Barnett too. So we're underway, 80 minutes of action. A tough assignment here for Waikato. As we know, they can cut it and work hard for the first half, but can falter late in the second, we've found over time. As many teams playing in the club scene in Waikato as there are here in Auckland. Of course, the catchment for the county's Manukau squad from Otahuhu, east out through Howard, south all the way down to Tuakau. Our teams in Pukekohe and the like. Great to have you along here on Sky. Wonderful weekend of rugby league. And the penalty pretty quick to come. Sideline with us today is Monty Beetham. Tēnā koe, Monty.
Tēnā koe, Dale. Tell you what, the surface is immaculate, very much like carpet. You mentioned the wind. It is going across. If it is going to favour one of the two sides, it would be counties coming out. As we see an impressive start. They've been renowned for their big, strong ball carriers, and I don't think we'll see too much different today. Aaron Clark, that's the name. That's the kid that I'm looking forward to seeing more of today.
James Dowie, of course, the fullback. Keep an eye out for him. He's fullback of the year for the Auckland Rugby League during their awards. First time with the Stingrays lineup, and they're already just outside the 10-metre line. So Aaron Clark will have the distribution role. And they're big boppers, as mentioned by Spencer Taplin, the coach. He had them last year. Couldn't cut it with Akarana in the final, and already close to the line. Trying to burrow his way over is this talented rake.
Wait the line, hold.
He's wanting to make a mark here. Of course, the residents team to be chosen at the back end of this premiership as we stay with the Stingrays. And this is looking dangerous for Waikato. And the try is in, and less than 2 minutes. The Stingrays are showing what they're capable of and just how dangerous they're going to be against Waikato today.
They're certainly punching through the middle with ease, and that's a real concern for the Waikato side. Getting that quick ruck speed, and then the delivery out wide. A nice little bit of shape here. And an out ball there to the number 12 who cuts through. A nice little fend. 3 or 4 players in the tackle, but they look too easy there for the Stingrays.
Yeah, Halalelo had a bit of work to do there, Rich. We mentioned the conditions. They're playing it to it nicely. Up the middle there with Aaron Clark, then they come out wide. Halalelo had some work to do. Carried multiple defenders over the line. Got that down. They're nice and tight now in the group as they breathe. Seen this plenty of times before. The unity is there.
Well, Nicholas Halaleo out of the Mangere Hawks. It's his second year with the Akarana squad. He's just in his early 20s. And Coach Taplin says that he was impressed with what he saw last year and feels that with more support and game time, he's hoping to develop Nicholas's skills and to have him primed and ready for more action. That's a decent kick too from Drew Radic. So an ominous start here for Waikato. There's no time to be complacent or to ease yourself into the game because the Stingrays obviously mean business.
Yeah, shape is what they've spoken about. Taplin early on, he likes the shape that they're showing. And also the push and footwork of this side is prominent. But again, the key to this Stingray side is through the middle third. That's the dominance.
Well, Waikato have to be on the mark here as they chase the kickoff. Stingrays have it. Under the 20-metre line now. The defenders come up quickly, including the number 6, Reinhard Haggie. Important that they contain the hard-running Stingrays here.
Here's 10, hold.
Of course, the franchise not all that old, split some years ago from wider Auckland. Connor Purcell's had an awesome year for the Otahuhu Leopards. He's a no-nonsense prop forward, old school styles, hauls it through the middle, and a high shot there on Piripi Parangi.
Still high.
He will be called back, apologises to the fullback, Dowie. He took out with the high shot.
Seemed like the variation in attack from the Stingrays. James Dowie going to fullback in place of Geronimo Dahl, who's seen himself position at number 1. Nice little shape, outside, inside ball.
On the 20-metre line, danger times 2, peeling back the meters. Clark, and he bounces up, wants to get away again. Here's the quick play of the ball. Look out, Waikato, you're in trouble here. The Stingrays are having another go already. We've only been going for a couple of minutes, and they're all over them at the moment. It's the big man who comes careering across the line. Well, no problem at all on Waikato. Getting sorted here, Connor Purcell. It was close to the line and too tough to stop.
It's like the Roosters against Souths last night. Outstanding. They really are firing a shot. The Stingrays, and Connor Purcell, the Otahuhu Leopard, comes through, close line, big body, over the try line. It's the first for the big bopper.
Well, it's a game about possession, isn't it? If you don't have possession, it's going to be a long day at the office. And so far, not having touched the ball yet, this Waikato side, they're in a lot of trouble. No real stops, not making the most of the collisions up front. This county side is rolling, and they're rolling, like you mentioned, Rich, with great variation around the ruck, hard running at the same time.
Connor Purcell, as I mentioned, 100% forward, gives us all each and every week. Close to the line like that, he's very, very hard to contain. There are a couple of blokes sitting on the bench, though, who want his spot. So he'll be looking to really play strong here this afternoon. And Radic once again shows why his kicking skills are in such demand. Drew Radic is a wonderful exponent of the game. Of course, played for Papakura, very consistent, great tactical game as well. As we get another look at Purcell. Well, Waikato now realise just what they've got to do. Hayden Carden is talking to his big men. Just need a whole lot of attitude right now. Just another try. Be easy to have this game get away from them in the early stages. Little rattled at the moment as County's Manukau come with a hearse and a roar.
Just incredible. They just need to get some players on in the defensive pattern here and just slow them down briefly. You can just see how quick they're getting off the line. That was a better tackle there. They slowed it down a fraction of a second. That's what they need to do in this game.
It's Purcell again. 7 minutes, Monty, and no pill.
Yeah, it's too hard a game to do that, especially when you've got powerful runners like Counties. You mentioned the middle third, they're coming right through the ridge and now on the edge.
Having their way is again the big number 12, Hala Leo, shows his class. He's back in field now, just inside the 30-metre line. This track, as mentioned, in wonderful condition. The boys are enjoying having a go on it. Big Jamal Hunt is tackled 25 in centre field. The Stingrays is Radic again, putting it into the end goal. That'll be tough to contain and to scramble for Waikato. Young Connor Harris gets the ball down and a restart from underneath the crossbar. But I tell you what, times are tough for Waikato.
Yeah, they're doing everything right here, the Stingrays. A nice movement and really charging through. And then on the back end of it, Radic gets the ball and just peppers it through nicely, and the charge was there. Repeat set, they're under the pump again.
Radic is reading the wind factor very well there. Could easily have got away from him as Cardena gets the restart. It's to the 30, James Dowie grabs hold of it. Little dummy from him, he's elusive. But he is wrapped up just outside the 20-metre line. Clark decides the left side's where the action's on, and Halaleo once again is involved. Decent defensive work by Bristow. To Purcell, first receiver. Spinning effort close to the line. Danger times, a decent win behind the Stingrays though.
Off the mark, mate. Come off the mark here.
Had me,
This is 3.
my materials got flying in the wind. I thought I had it taped down, but seemingly not.
I thought you were throwing it at me, Dale.
Well, as long as it wasn't my wallet that went away. Wouldn't be much in it anyway. Here we go, staying with it. Connor Purcell turning back on the inside. Well, Purcell is too strong. They are mincing Waikato at the moment. They don't know where to look, where to turn. They're in big, big trouble.
Brilliant work there from the Stingrays again. The little offload, second phase. They're moving the ball at will. There's a lot of space and time for the side to really orchestrate the attack. You can just see there, bumping off tackles. The tackle, the first up contact's not that great, but Connor Purcell sees an opportunity. Good footwork for a big man. Chimes through for his second of the day.
Yeah, great footwork, but also the nice carry, the subtleties that you've got. He's a big man, but he uses the evasion, uses the show. As we see some good footwork here as we come through. Look at that, of the second phase. He's not looking just to lock the ball up. He wants to score, try and have a go. That's the confidence that this side is playing with at the moment. I think I've seen this side as dominant. Can't remember that. I think it'll be over 10, 11 minutes by the time they restart again. And Waikato are yet to see the ball.
It's easy to be complimentary of the Stingrays, but for Waikato, they need to show just a little bit more heart, throw themselves into their work. They're getting bullied at the moment here by the Stingrays, who are just all over them like a rash. Speaking of rashes too, this was the venue last week where we were to hold the National Secondary Schools final. You'll be aware that that was cancelled because of the measles outbreak here in Auckland. But at the moment, Waikato in plenty of trouble. 18-0, who would have thought after 10 minutes could end up with a cricket score, and if something changes soon. And the main thing is that this Waikato squad need the ball. They've been denied that opportunity. Playing with skill, slickness that belies the fact that they've hardly had too much time together. But Spencer Taplin has chosen wisely here. Great to see Manukau represented so strongly in his squad, and Papakura as well. Big afternoon of rugby league coming your way on Sky Sport here, including later the reigning champions, the Akarana Falcons, and they'll be lining up against, of course, the Canterbury Bulls. Always a threat to Canterbury. This is the first time the Waikato have even had the ball. 5 are back, 10 are not. Dragging the chain a little bit, those who have been defending down the right side with a little look-see. Up quickly. In their defence, though, Waikato, the wind appears to have got a little stronger, Monty. You know, you might put it at 10, 15 points anyway, the way that it sits at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's coming more to the back of the county's side, whereas previously it was more across the field. But tell you what, it's a great sight to see these guys running with the ball for a change. It's a vicious cycle when you don't have the ball and you get to carry. You don't really carry with as much emphasis or oomph as you would like, and then you kick from deep in your own end. Let's see what they can do now.
Well, this one's gone into the middle. If Waikato can get hold of the ball, and they do on the far side, they'll get another chance at it. Scrambling is Dwayne Sykes. Sykes, of course, second year with the regional squad for the championship winning Taniwharau. This is Te Rongopai. Murray plays the ball, wind-up time for Jerome Flood. He takes it towards the line. There's shot in the arm for Waikato if they're able to get across the line here at the moment. First real test on the Stingrays D as they work it wide. The big number 20 has the ball. Jaden Flood. Twins in the squad today, and close by, very close for Piripi Parangi. He's still just a metre out now. Waikato desperate to get themselves onto the board, threading the needle into the end goal. The chase is on, the try is scored, and it's skillful play from Waikato. Just what the doctor ordered as Pawhare Brown gets in and scores off the decent kick from Sykes.
That was brilliant work there from Waikato side. The ability to get through and show some variation when they're under the pump in the first set to get themselves up here. It was fantastic. The kick through from Dwayne Sykes was magnificent. Piripi Parangi, the big prop who's had some really good carries, is there. Look at that. Fantastic effort. Waikato get points on the board.
It just shows you a bit of possession. It was only like back-to-back sets, but Waikato, after absorbing so much, petrol really low on energy. They showed what you can do when they get down this end of the field. It's their first chance. And Pawhare Brown, he was there for a very long time. Tell you what, could have had a cup of tea. Very good on the man up the middle. Scored a much-needed try.
Pawhare Brown right on the money from the Sykes kick at first. I thought that it might have gone dead, but with the wind there, it held it back slightly. And now Hayden Karena has the chance to convert from right in front. Similar names, to be honest. I see Stephen McIver likes to call me Koro, well, they call him Koro as well. Hayden Karena. He's been around since Adamore Shorts, and he's in his mid-30s now. Played all over the planet. He's very experienced and one of the go-to men here for Coach Kutia. Spent this week in Wellington, Morgan Kutia, the coach, and was reliant on the connections in his squad. They were Chris Langley and Marin Haggie, who did the training later in the week. Morgan works for Te Wānanga Aotearoa, and they've been in Wellington at a noho, where they were helping aspiring police personnel to prepare for the quite rigorous tests involved if you want to become a New Zealand police officer. So he's very appreciative of the work that Chris and Marin have done during the week with this team. They really got sorted in the opening few minutes. They're really clawing their way back into the game at the moment, Richie Dean.
Certainly like that play, shifting the ball to the edges real quick, giving some space to the edges, getting some easy yards. It's smart play from the Waikato side, and he's been fantastic. Piripi Parangi, 2 carries in that set, really charging.
This is the attitude that's needed here. Very inspiring as well, that try, just the ticket at the right time. They had a little ball, as we see Sam Matangi with the ball. He's picked off, 37 to play. They'll go to the right side to Flood. He sends it high, Dowie, no pressure, and he takes it 10 metres out from his own line. Squares it up, and Parangi is there to put him away as we go sideline with Monty.
Absolutely. You mentioned Parangi. He's been a good performer early on. Now, it's what they do now defensively. Feel the game sort of even out in terms of the possession. Gives them a chance to really contest this match. Got to be strong here.
The defensive work in this set, vitally important. There's Connor Purcell, 2 tries already. He's certainly staking his claim for higher honours. Later this year, we'll have a English squad coming out, made up of the amateur clubs in England. This guy's having a whale of a time, Halaleo. Very hard to contain. 5th and final tackle now. Clark looks up, he'll look for his kicker. Finds him, Tane Paki. And on the far side, taken slickly as well by Murray. And Geelongapai is chased down by the Stingrays. Swampum had a conversation with Casey. He heads the Stingrays franchise. He's the chair there. He was saying that they've organised an Indian rugby league team. Are you aware of that, Richie? They've played Colombia, and this all emanating out of New Zealand. And pleased about that, the ethnic tournament coming up shortly. And of course featuring in our next game, David Barner. David is credited as being the very first NRL player with Indian bloodlines, and of course he turned out for Newcastle, back with Northcote now. That's the reason he's turning out for Akarana in the next game. Here we are again with Parangi, and he's just short of the halfway line by about 5 metres, a bit slow to his feet this time, took a bit of a whack in that play. Back it comes to get the kick away from Reynard Haggie. Awkward for Dowie. Tall and strong Dowie. Really made an early impact when he turned up in Fox football, but he can run. He's got a beautiful swerve when he's in full flight as well. This man's been playing strong in the early exchanges as well.
I like the look of Hayden Karena at the moment. He really has come up with some big defensive plays, but also got himself in charge of attack too, and really trying to ignite this. His defence has been outstanding. There's some big bodies out there, and he's weathering that storm really well.
Richard Polani, the club mate for Connor Purcell, gets his chance. That's him with the football. George Edwards is playing on the left wing, equally adept at fullback as well, and he's getting himself involved. Danger time for Waikato. They need to stay strong, but how can you beat that one? What a run down the right edge. It's Geronimo Doyle himself, normally a fullback with the Otahuhu Leopards, but this time just showing why everyone likes his footy. He's a terrific young player, and Geronimo Doyle goes in for try number 4.
Brilliant effort, shifting the ball at will, just giving some space and time out here. A nice wide ball. Look at this play here. That's a Joseph Manu pass. Outstanding.
There you go. That was the pass there, the headgear. Couldn't quite see the number. Who was that gentleman? Because I tell you what, he was the absolute difference. Beautiful bit of play in an away line. The no-look flick out the side. Very reminiscent of Joseph Manu. Class.
Yeah, all class down that right edge as well. We'll look at that. 3 very competent fullbacks at his hand for Spencer Taplin. And really got some riches. Big number 21 lining up to come on as Junior Tukinga for the Stingrays. He's a big unit as well. But Ipi Parangi gets a rest as well for Waikato. This is the most difficult of the conversion attempts for Drew Radic. Radic, of course, very much a linchpin of the Papakura effort this year. Spencer Taplin very confident in his abilities. He's a big unit, this Junior Tukinga.
148 kilos. And Emilio Michiali, who had that wonderful pass to Geronimo Doyle to score that pass, is one to watch out for, young and up-and-comer.
How classy was he, Rich?
Fantastic for a centre, and his kick, as mentioned before, difficult in the conditions, coming across into the wind. Fades out to the right. But yes, certainly a player with huge ability, and that was good foresight.
22-6, some talk of Geronimo heading off. I've always thought that if you name Geronimo, you're half starting to be a great footballer, don't you think? But he's been a great servant for the Leopards this year, finished mid-table in the Fox. And Geronimo, some talk of him going offshore, but you know, you're not quite sure if that's to check out rugby league opportunities or, you know, young men do OE. It's a tradition for New Zealand youth, and I guess maybe if he was to get a sniff at residence play, might keep him here a bit longer. That strong carry once again off the kick-off. The Stingrays high on confidence at the moment, and Waikato having to shore up defence. They're scrambling, throwing everything at the Stingrays team, but there's a ton of class as the big replacement comes on, and Junior Tukinga, well, it takes 3 to get him to ground. Just under 150 kgs. Radic, cut out ball, skillful again. George Edwards looking to pick up with Nathan Simmons. Simmons has been strong already from Bangarewa. Tough old centre, he just goes straight ahead, doesn't he? And the coach likens him to a Jared McCracken style runner. Look here, oh, Waikato. You're under the torch at the moment. Here come the Stingrays. They can't stop the big man this time. How could they? He's been on for just a few moments and already crosses the line for try number 5. They are on fire, the Stingrays. So
difficult to take. A big body after a next, and it just steamrolls through. The quick play of the ball, so difficult from a retreating defence to come up. And then you're up with the next big body coming at you with a bit of footwork. Walani scores the try, but there was some good lead up beforehand, and it was just great work from Aaron Clark to deliver that ball. He jumps out of dummy half, he sums up the situation, and there's players in motion. He selects the right one. Try time for the Waikato Stingray side.
Well, it's hard enough trying to stop these big men when you're on the front foot and when you've got personnel in and around you. But when you're on the back foot, when you're retreating and it's back-to-back sets, it makes it very difficult to stop these big, rampaging, big, strong men. So I tell you what, you need to do something. I think Hayden Karena has to have a few more words. Technically, got to be there in the middle. Hayden Karena, he's already got the finger going, guys.
So Radish, no problem from close range as well, 28-6. Not the scoreline the Waikato supporters would have wanted. To be honest, from the commentary position, I could endorse that as well. There's Richard Holani. What this is a nice battle for the role to represent. Both of them teammates at the Leopards. Richard and Connor, 2 tries to Connor, now 1 for Holani. Hasn't been on very long. But that's exactly what Spencer Tappen was hoping for as we look in. There's David Barner, who I mentioned, right in the middle with the shades on. Aidan Ackland as well. He gets his representative debut today. A strong performer in this year's Fox Championship. As we cut back to live action, and here's Holani once again, shoulder charge and a penalty.
Thank you. 11.
No arms in it. And Jerome Flood
Marks back here, fellas.
being called out.
Just got to say, it's tough going when you're competing against size. You know, you've just got to weigh this up. They're 10 or 15 kilos short. Very difficult. The onslaught of big men coming at you.
Yeah, well, by Morgan's admission as well, the Waikato coach, he says we haven't got a big squad, and that's for real. When you look at them in comparison, the sheer physique, there's quite a difference, Monty.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other thing too is that if you are passive in your defence, if you do go too low, that means they get a quick play of the ball, and the next one comes with even more force and more momentum. So it's a tough one. You've got to fight fire with fire, even if you are not the biggest team.
Dangerous. Dowie gets into the mix. The Bristow was effective with the tackle on the 20-metre line, and now it's Clark. He holds it up. Here comes the big man, Tuking up. He's on the 10-metre line. Wind at their back. Sails full, confidence high. Here they come. Look out, Waikato. Here come the Stingrays once again. Back they get driven into the in goal. So this is nigh on perfect performance. Okay, they let one through with that kick from Sykes and the pickup by Brown. But other than that, it's just been all one-way traffic, and the Stingrays been in great touch in game one of this NZRL Premiership.
Pucky kicks through, but good positioning from Jaden Flood, fullback for Waikato. He summed it up nicely. He got to the ball, he got pushed back, but the position was spot on. Lovely work. Now they're under the pump. Their defence has actually really improved in the latter part of this half, and line speed is critical for Waikato side, and they need to sustain that.
Well, now more questions are being asked of them too. On the 20-metre line, 28-6. What a score! I would never have anticipated it. They are dead set rampaging at the moment. The Stingrays, as Dowie slices them open yet again, and Waikato just got no answer. They are coming like a bullet out of a gun at the moment, and there's no stopping the Stingrays. They're scorching up the turf here in Papakura.
Yes, another big impact off the bench. Richard Hulani, who's come off, he scored a try, but he's punching through the line. Look at this devastation he's leaving. Arms up, bumping off players, and the mighty offload. And of course, Dowie's there. He pushes up nicely, this fullback. You can see why he's got the #1 job. He sits around, and there's plenty of opportunities for him. But that's a great offload there, and a great pick up there from the #1.
Yeah, I think it was thrown up by the elbow to the throat, or the forearm to the throat. I don't think it was intentional, but nonetheless, it wasn't what you should be doing as a player. That's too high. What he fell off that tackle. But geez, when these guys are rolling, and they're rolling with shape and numbers, it's a frightening proposition trying to stop them. Big, strong boys. Aaron Clark's doing a wonderful job as well. Just piecing it all together around the dummy half.
Right, it almost chips it through the posts as well to further embarrass the scoreline. This is a little like a training run at the moment here for the Stingrays, and more technique, more commitment is needed here from Waikato at the moment. There's a few just arm grabs, and is lacking some intent on defence. They look up at the scoreboard, must be very disheartening, but they'll have to do something about the attitude on D. So this could well, I suppose the potential, what we're looking at is, could go to 3 figures.
Well, there certainly is, and I mean, this is a great example when communications is vital, when you really push your players and try to lift them up and keep that momentum and that desire there, and don't lose your spirit. You know, they've been copped a lot in this first half, but they've just got to keep working hard.
So Junior Tuking up. He's been a very potent force at the moment, and lacking big men to counteract the size, power, and agility that the Stingrays are displaying here this afternoon. It's proving just a hurdle too much at the moment here for Waikato. Big strong wind at our backs, and here he goes again. Holani, he's lost the ball this time, and Waikato will gladly receive the Steeden.
Well, Dale, this is the best way to stop the big men. If you've got possession, you can tire them out, back-to-back sets, make them tire, move them around a little bit more. But I tell you what, when you've got guys at 148 kilos running at you and not having to tackle in between, it makes it all too hard. Look at them. You've got one or two just teaming up with each other. That's brutal coming at you if you're defensive line.
You can see as we set the scrum here, the variance in size. They've got a giant pack, the Stingrays. I'm a big fan of big men in football too, and I respect what Spencer is doing. You know, he's got some genuine size in there, and at the moment Waikato haven't got an answer to it as Hayden Cardina pushes the ball along. I'm not saying that they're lacking heart here. They really they've just been swamped. And that's a decent hit as well. Gee, Parfait Brown knew all about it just on halfway.
I love this. They really push up in their ball playing, the Waikato side. They're always looking up and trying to see opportunities. They're not dying wondering, that's for sure, this Waikato side.
Lee Bristow does well to stay in the field of play, and Connor Harris feeds it across, back rower Matangi. That's technique plus, as we see two defenders really picking up. Matangi comes in with good reps as well. He has played in the centres, but this is his first year playing rep footy as Flood comes into the line from the back, and he's wrapped up on the 30-metre line here.
Control that, please, Joey.
Just under 10 to play. Not a good end to the set for Waikato.
I wouldn't mind seeing the ball delivered on this right edge to Lee Bristow. He looks like a pretty skillful right centre here.
Well, what we did see last night too, it is possible for one team to just have control right through the first half and then things to change at half time. I think it was maybe 26-0 last night. The Roosters went into the sheds at half time. The end result 30-6, meaning that South Sydney came back and held their own in that second 40. The hope is the same can occur here for Waikato with the wind behind them. Other than as it is at the moment, curtailing their opportunities to drive downfield. We're inside the 40, Stingrays end of the ground. A bit of an injury there, a concern. Quite sure what happened there, Monty. Did you get a decent look at that?
Well, no, I didn't. Go for it, Monty.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was sort of obstructed by some big human beings, very similar to an eclipse. They got in the way, and I'm talking about the Stingray players. Size galore everywhere, multiple men in the tackle, which make it even a little bit harder. As we take a look now and see what happens, multiple guys in there. See as they come through there, the head is probably in a position where obviously it can't get the movement it deserves, but no intent on a crusher type scenario. But I think that is something that actually did happen. As we see, he's down now. But you mentioned the wind going to be at the back of his side in the second half. And Waikato are going to need to make sure they maintain position, maybe kick a little bit earlier. And yet they've still got about 8.5 minutes now to see if they can get on the board, to light that fire a little bit more before they go in there at half time.
Waikato now through Hagi. Hagi turns it on the inside and picks up Rehana Tairaki. This is him, Setterfield at 35 metres out. Worked the right edge through Sykes, and Sykes has a drop-off ball on the inside for Bristow. Bristow is difficult to contain initially and gets up inside the 20. Fed along here, and out it goes to Brown. Nice ball, picking up Hagi here, and Reynard is the ground. 15 to play. To the line, I should say, and then across it comes for Cardina. Puts the chip up over the top and into the end goal. Cleaned up at the back by the Stingrays, who have it just outside their own try line.
Not very impressed, the Waikato side. Look, they're really aiming up now. They've been exhausting trying to defend these big boppers coming through, but they're showing such heart and resilience, and this will welcome a return for the Waikato side.
Tairaki right next to the posts as Cardina gets it. Sykes, it's gone backwards. In fact, it's been called a knock on. I thought he might have just tapped it backwards. So the few opportunities that have surfaced, Monty, they really haven't been able to capitalise on. And the afternoon remains a tough one here for Waikato. Down by
That's a real shame.
34-6.
It's a real shame because I'm with you, Rich. They're stuck and held in the whole time, and they've fought for everything they can. Parfity Brown's been good with the ball as well, playing a bit of a role as passing as well. But this when they came out here, it looked like they had a few numbers on the right. Unfortunately, they put the ball down. But the attitude, the refusal to give in from this Waikato side has to be admired at this stage. Nice though to go in with a few more points before the break. Shoulders in.
Been impressed here with Simmons. He's had a strong game so far. It was George Edwards playing on the left wing. The dynamic footballers both. The luxury of being able to rotate his players here for Spencer Taplin. We recall too, house parents for the Warriors. His beautiful wahine. They did the same role for the Roosters before returning home. So they're solid contributors to the NZRL culture, both. As the chip over the top will get a bit of legs and momentum as well. It'll roll down into the end goal, and that's where it will stay. What a kick. Fortunately for Waikato going low and bringing it back into the field of play.
Been impressed too, Te Rongapai. Murray, he's been brilliant on that left edge, left winger. He showed great pace to get back. He's very elusive. He carries the ball extremely well.
One of my standouts for the first half has to be Nicholas Halaleo. He's just been wonderful. And, showing a real commitment to get into the heavy stuff, both on attack and defence. Waikato with changes. Brigham Parai is in to replace Sammy Matangi. Too far out from the halfway hooter. It'll be a bit of a breather here for Waikato, but the work continues. What a sensational performance it's been here by the Stingrays. 6 tries to 1. Forcing the prop forward to put the kick in. And you can see just how strong the wind is here. That was from just outside the 30. Carried for 25 metres, but then blew itself across the western touchline here. As this easterly continues to affect the strategies being employed by both teams here in round 1 of the National Premiership. 2 tries to Purcell. Alaleo in with 1. Doyle, Lani, Dowie, all in. Give you an update too of what's happened around the traps from regional perspective. Just after the half-time break. A reminder, here on Sky Sports still to come this afternoon. It's the Aotearoa Falcons and the Canterbury Bulls. But right now, all eyes on the Stingrays, and here he is again, Halaleo. Having a whale of a time out there at the moment. Gee, he's been good. Mangarees will be proud as, and they're just too strong once again. And don't at all be surprised that it's the big unit going in. It's Junior duking up. I say that very respectfully as well. It's just hard to stop a guy so big, so powerful. He's enjoying his opportunity close to the line. Hats off to Aaron Clark too. Recognised that there was a decent run and momentum. Pops the perfect pass. Gets the perfect result.
Man management from Drew Radic. He's orchestrated his team around the field nicely. Kicking has been outstanding, but it's just the delivery. He's working the team around nicely. Of course, likes of Aaron Clark bringing on their forwards onto the ball nicely. Very effective, efficient this first half.
I tell you what, New Zealand League won't be overly happy about this too, because you know it's a showcase of our regional rugby league. If the gulf between the Auckland-based teams and Waikato, for instance, if they're deemed to be the 4th best region in Aotearoa, then there are some problems for regional rugby league.
But I think it's as simple as if you put the shoe on the other foot, and if you starve counties of possession for the first 11 minutes of the game, that would make some inroads on the scoreboard for the opposition. Let's hope that that is more the case than how far they away as players. I tell you what, Halaleo, he's been good today. Aaron Clark, yes, he's been making some good decisions at a dummy half, but there's no decision to make when you've got Junior Tukinga running. Give him the ball.
Just give them the ball, and that's all they've had to do at the moment. The wind at their backs, momentum, as everything's been coming up. for them as well. Probably go well if they go buying lotto tickets tonight too, the Stingrays. At the moment, they'll be keen to get into the sheds. I don't know what more Kutia can say to them to lift their spirits. As we see Tukinga again, showing what that power play footy, what it can result in. Clark wanting to get into higher honours. We know that he's capable. Wouldn't let him go this time, Pawhare Brown. Another penalty. 2 to play till half time.
Still like the desire, really. Pawhare Brown, you know, really got in there. He's showing some real passion. It's relentless for this side. They're not giving in. They'll keep trying.
That's off to them. I know they are working hard as Aaron Clark shows his class again. Peels back the meters through the middle. He's trying to break away. He's jerseyed. Down he goes. 15 out from the line. Is there another one in this Stingrays outfit? You get the feeling the answer there is yes. Here's Olani. Back he comes to Tukinga. The big units once again combining. And the danger is again very real for Waikato. Down 46. Is it going to be more? Right, it's like a spinning top. Stands and delivers to Clark. Over the top he goes and picks up Paki. There's the kick wide. Has the kid got it on the far side? He has. Tarongapai Murray comes up with the ball and the restart, and maybe he took it outside. Tarongapai Murray swerving, and he does beautifully to get them 45 metres from the line. What a run from the left wing.
Fantastic work. Now they need to capitalise on this. They've got an opportunity, a minute to go. A great opportunity, a great run as we mentioned before. He's been on fire, that left winger.
One of the best here for Waikato, and what's been a very, very difficult first half assignment for them. With the ball, here's Lee Bristow. He's to ground just before the halfway line, but it's been all Stingrays here today. They have been carving. Dwayne Sykes plays the ball as Cardina pushes it for Reynard Haggie, shows it, pops it. The ball is late into the hands of Brigham Palai. Getting it back on the far side, a little bit more spirited as we come to the end of the first half. But too little too late as the hooter sounds to wrap up the first 40. What a 40 minutes of football it has been here for the Stingrays. They have been exceptional and almost a perfect first 40. At the break, they are carving up Waikato. Great to have you along. It's the first round of the NZRL Premiership from Papakura. And the Stingrays well in control at 40-6.
It is a completely dominant Counties Manukau Stingrays after the first 40 minutes against Waikato in the New Zealand Rugby League Championship. And Halalilo gets the first try for the Counties Manukau Stingrays. Monty Beetham, it's been the big men, the likes of Connor Purcell, that are doing the damage for Counties Manukau.
There's big men all over the place, and when you've got Aaron Clark like that, Purcell getting over the line there, and he's been wonderful, nice and direct. But when they got a little bit wider as well, you know, they've got some magic out there too.
Yeah, Connor Purcell scores a double, and the feet he shows, he was actually, you would have thought he was a 5-meter. Watch the feet here for the big boy. Goes through, and really, in the cliched terms, it is going like a knife through butter because the defence in that early part hasn't been holding up.
Oh, absolutely. Look, you know, Waikato will get their chance to come now, and that man there, Parangi, he got there. Brown, he was there to score the try. He's been doing nice passes in between. He's even kicked for this. But what about this? He comes across. He skips across. The ball here to Geronimo Doyle was outstanding.
I think there was a suggestion that it was a Joseph Manu-like pass from last night. As they keep on going, Halani will get another one. And they've just, it's been a very simple game plan because they know they're not going to get much thrown at them.
Especially when you know you got Aaron Clark jumping in a dummy half, ball in two hands, and he's got big men coming with very courageous lines and running options, nice and direct. It's great, beautiful pick up there.
Yeah, and Darby gets a try, and again, they've just, Morgan Kutia's defence is at 6s and at 7. He should be very, very concerned about that. But there's still 2 more tries to go. Davey will get one, and then Junior Tikanga, the big unit. Boy, are they struggling with him or what?
148 kilos.
148 kilos.
When he's got possession, and when he hasn't got any energy starved of him, he's devastating. But that man then, Hayden Karena, what he was doing to, he's been great all day. He's been out there leading the defensive line. He's been talking to everyone, a lot of experience, and it is needed now. I don't think he'd be needing his shoulders as much, but he's throwing that on the line too.
Well, what can Morgan Kutia say to his side? You're down by 40 points to 6. How do you try and maintain some relevance in the game?
Well, I think you can talk about the second half with the wind at your back. You think about the game before that everyone would have watched last night and how that difference 40 minutes makes. So if you get out there, if you can start just as well, 11 minutes without possession with the ball, that's a hard day at the office for anyone, no matter who you got on their side. So for him, it's get your hands on the ball early, kick long, use that win, and get back into this match.
7 tries to 1, and 6 of those been converted. Cody's Manukau Stingrays 40, Waikato 6, and there's still another 40 minutes to play before we have Akarana versus Canterbury in round 1 of the New Zealand Rugby League Premiership, live on the home of the great game, Sky Sport 4.
Kia ora noa. Welcome back. And it is a one-sided encounter at the moment, but a chance for Waikato to turn it around as they come back with the wind at their backs. Bucky Parkinson whistles the start of the second half, 40-6, 7 tries to 1. What an outstanding first half performance it was from Spencer Taplin's Stingrays. But they had plenty of possession. And as mentioned in the half-time break, to 11 minutes really before Waikato even got hold of the football. Well, they've got it now. Let's see if they can make some inroads. With us today, Richie Barnett and Monty Beetham. Richie, hoping that Waikato are able to lift their game.
I sense they have. There's a lot of resilience in this side. You can feel it. They've struggled for the first half, but there's desire and belief, I think, in this side to do some good stuff in the second half.
Brown takes it forward. We saw them huddled up, and of course they're a tight unit from Waikato. A few of them will be somewhat demoralised, understandably, when they looked at the scoreboard, Monty. But they've come out with a bit of attitude to start the second half.
Yeah, look, you've had plenty of time to rest up, and I think what the problem was in the first half was obviously 11 minutes before they got their hands on the pill, and that's always a problem. And now they're realising that they start with the ball, got the wind at their backs, and they realise what they saw last night on the NRL. Doesn't matter what happened in the first half, you can just go out there in the second and be just as deadly.
Go, 2.
Monty, what needs to happen here if they're going to be more competitive in the second half?
Well, tell you what, they've got to use that win well. Hayden Karena, they've got a few great players in this team with that knowledge and experience. And I tell you what, they're doing a really good job defensively now. The contact, the collisions, the first up ones are a lot better. And that's what needs to be done for the majority of the second half, not just for the start.
The Stingrays have the ball now, and a replacement on, of course. Aaron Clark's been given a bit of a breather, and fair enough too, because the game is well and truly in control here. Stingrays on to Radic. Waikato have the ball on the far side of the field, about 5 or 6 metres out from their own line.
Difficult take to Connor Harris. High ball, the wind coming across field easterly. It's a very good take. And now this is the transition into attack is really important for the side. Really get the speed, tempo of the game up. It's a vital start, and I like the look of what they're doing. I think there's a bit of variation in what we've seen in Waikato's side. They can't get caught up playing a predictable football. They have to shift this ball. 40-6, 2 minutes in the second half. The big boppers need to come onto this ball, and the kicking game is going to be so vitally important. Dwayne Stokes, particularly with that easterly coming across, I get these real opportunities for a 40-20. James Dowie's been fantastic for the Stingrays. He's been brilliant. Big body, he's got a good footwork, he pushes up around the ball.
There's a number 20 in here, not listed, I had him in the 17. His name is Leonard Patello. He's the one with the bushy hair. Leonard Patello. Keep an eye out for him. Connor Purcell once again showing his wares.
11 off the ball! Everyone's here. Go, 4.
Back on the inside for the Stingrays now. Micaiah there, and the ball ends up in the hands of Jaden Flood, fullback.
7 up! Here's 10. Go, 1.
Very windy here, and we're sort of got an open commentary box, and some of the papers were flying down onto the ground below. Very accommodating, the squad from Counties Manukau. Now this is a lot better, and you can just see a little bit more momentum coming in behind Waikato, and that's just what they need here, Monty. A bit of an opportunity to build more confidence.
Absolutely. Speed, you know, when you can stop these big men, and if you can get around them with their pace and quick play of the ball. Mentioned Rongapai, geez, out of dummy half, he was electric. That really got their momentum going forward. Now they're in a great position now to score, be the first one to score in the second half. That will boost their confidence, no doubt.
Rochelle Tamarua, one of our best referees as well, certainly a force on the rise, Rochelle. With the introduction of women referees in NRL, you hope that the pathways have been created for those from this side of the Tasman to do likewise. This is Rana Dennis. He'll play it for Hayden Carter now, and onto the replacement Taylor Kenna. He's to ground, 6 metres out from the try line. Good chance here for Waikato. Trying to build something through Dwayne Sykes, who goes for Haggy. Haggy holds the pass up and gets it through to Flood. He's put away though, still peppering the left edge, and the dive for the line, trying to roll across the line as well from acting half. Couldn't quite get there.
Marker, if you want it.
So Reynard Haggy had to go from dummy half. He'll back it up to the 10-metre line. Carving there into dummy half.
Hold.
Let's get started again, says referee Parkinson. Brigham Palai.
Last one now, fellas. Hit him up. And square.
He's rolled to the ground as well, but just a couple of metres out from the try line. Brown gets it, and he threads the needle. That'll be too heavy. Dowie shadows it and allows it to go dead. Interesting to see the prop putting the kick through. Showing some versatility. Not quite sure it was deep enough into the set to warrant that.
Well, he's certainly got a skill set. Hopefully Brown.
He's straddling the line.
Kicks the ball, his general kicking game. Superb. Probably one of those players who's good at everything.
Yep, and he scored the try. He's a great little player, really. Well, no, I shouldn't be saying little. He went like that, maybe a halfback in a prop's body. He's still got that, sure got that skill set.
So it's Dowie with the restart, and as expected into the wind, only going 30 or so metres is Palai.
Okay, together!
He's a basketballer, actually. He was playing his first year for Rep Honours for Waikato at the College Old Boys Club as the second row of flood has it. And is contained. Left side and trying through McGregor. Can't find his way through. McGregor from the Ngārawawahia Panthers. So there's some good reputation as well. See another of the Ngārawahia boys. And Harper getting his debut for the Canterbury Bulldogs last week or the week before. Rousing haka from his whānau in the stands on debut. Here they are with a little dummy as well from Blaine Sykes, and now he puts it into the end goal. Nicely read as well there by Tāne Paki. Tāne Paki in the Warriors 20s a few years back. But he was good then. He's on debut today. And Stowers has normally occupied the 6th jersey, but a chance for Tāne to show his skills and to impress Coach Taplin. Remind you that there are Rep Honours on the line here. And if able to get into the residence game, anything could happen. Only two Premiership, well, only two competitions below this Premiership. That's the Northern and Southern Championships. The Northern Champ teams include Northern Swords, the Coastline Mariners, the Taranaki Sharks, Manukau Mustangs and the Wellington Orcas. The Southern Championship teams this year are West Coast, Taranaki, Otago and Southland. Canterbury Māori also had a team involved in the Southern Championship as an invitational team, but it was the Otago Whalers who were crowned Southern Championship winners for the 3rd consecutive year. That was last weekend, beating the Southland Rams 38-22. Stingrays in possession and midway between the 30 and 40. The Northern Championships currently being led by the Northern Swords with 3 wins from 3 outings. Swords have a bye this week as we see a beautiful effort in try number 3 here from Purcell. Nicely led up to by Leonard Patello, who spearheaded the run. But it was Big Purcell in for his hat-trick here, and he scores it right under the posts.
How dare these forwards take our backs tries. Terrible work, but fantastic for the props to come through and push. Just shows that they're real eager to make a difference in 2019. This is great work, second phase. Nice interchange of passing here. And as always, I was going to say a fullback should be in place there, but it's not. It is Connor Purcell for his 3rd try today here.
Purcell's been great, hasn't he? But Leonard Patello, since he's been on for Aaron Clark, he's done a wonderful amount of things out there as well. 2-hand carry, little subtleties. Had a lot of energy in and around the ruck, and he's been talking to his big men. A nice 2-1, a nice 1-2 punch. Clark and Patello. You see them breathing in once again. Jeez, I think it's the opposition who need to take the deep breaths just to get ready to go and go up against these large men again.
The pleasure of emceeing the Otahu Rugby League prize giving this evening, because I live in Otahu, have done for the last 20-odd years. And I'm sure there'll be a few cheers for Connor Purcell. He was a popular figure in the club scene, 3 tries as well, and in this outing in regional rugby league. Hats off to him. Just finishing off with the results from the Northern Swords. As mentioned, the Swords have a bye. The Orcas, with 2 wins from 2, are playing the Coastline Mariners. That's at the Jerry Collins Stadium in Poriru at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And the Otago Whalers, the Southern Championship winners, will play the Northern Championship winners on Saturday the 5th of October prior to the men's Premiership final. So that gives you a little bit more information about what is happening with regional rugby league. The traditional promotion relegation that exists here is resting up in 2019 as they review the structures of the various championships. So all of these teams involved, the 4, guaranteed the opportunity to go through into 2020 as well. With Morgan Kutia, he said that the thought of promotion was quite a catalyst for improved performances when his team was working their way out of the championships into the Premiership as Patello weaves some magic again, Leonard. Oh, he's a class act, isn't he? And it's almost intercepted as well. Leonard Patello, also out of the Otahu club, is in his cover for for Aaron, but he plays a really up-tempo style on attack. That was the feature of his play through 2019 club footy. And you can see that's the way he likes to play his ball too, even though he's stepping up in quality.
It's a cook from South, isn't it? Just that speed and identifying opportunities and just coming out of the blocks quick, creating. And they're pushing up nicely, as we mentioned earlier before. That's what they're very good at. The Stingrays side is the push.
Patello. Now on to Tane Paki and Shimmy. And a carry from Mikaele. Somewhat disappointed that Howick didn't put some players up for this squad. It's a good team anyway without them. I don't know that you could put any blame on Sean McGregor, who goes into that tackle. It's almost like a hurtling effort there for Justice Ariati. And Waikato in some trouble here again. Fight out from their own line and they're coming back. Patello gets hold of the ball. He punches it out to Radic. Radic keeping the flow going. James Dowie will get it on the second bounce. And he's tough to take as well. Wrapped up there by Jaden Flood, the fullback, who takes his opposite and puts it to the ground, 10 out from the line. But still, the Stingrays looking to go in again. 46-6. Here's an intercept. Have we got the legs? The race is on. Look at the Stingrays covering ground. And there's a runner here for Waikato. Wasn't looking, manages to get a pass away. Straightening effort, and the Stingrays survive. Waikato career downtown, and they have the ball on the 20-metre line. Out it comes to Tarongapai Murray. He's got some speed. Will he use it? He's going around the outside. Smart footy. Smart footy from Tarongapai Murray. And he busts a few moves to celebrate as well in the corner.
Great work, great effort. Dwayne Sykes measured that ball nicely. He charged up, intercept ball. He tried to get through there. There's extent of trying to get to the right-hand edge here, but look at this. He identified an opportunity. He grabbed the ball. He had players coming from the right-hand side. It's great work from the county side that comes through to nullify that. They're struggling to get back and support Waikato side, but they did in the hands of Te Rongapai Murray. He's been brilliant, as we mentioned before, but his speed, the acceleration and the desire, look at that. Fantastic work, second try there for the Waikato side.
Oh, Te Rongapai, he knew he had speed, he knew he could see the gap, and he just took it, and he took it really well indeed. Speed to burn, Te Rongapai. Sykes, he started all off, reading the play. I don't think he had too much choice but to come out for the intercept. The chase back from Counties was great. In the end, it was the speed. Te Rongapai got them over the line.
I tell you who I liked as well was Tane Paki and his chase down of Dwayne Sykes. It was full of attitude, and of course forced Sykes to go to ground. And Te Rongapai made the decision quickly that he had the wheels to get around. He could have looked back on the inside, but he backed himself and was able to go and score a fine try as well. Well, we're into double figures here for the visitors. Of course, Counties Manukau, this is their home track, really. They live locally. It's just an hour and a bit down the motorway from Auckland to Hamilton and Huntly, where most of these players are from. Ngātawa Wahia as well. So here's Hayden Kardena. It's a tough one. Wins to assist them, though, and it won't pull it around. So it is 46 points to 10. Sure, it's a one-sided game, but showing a little more heart at the moment. Waikato, after going into the break at 46 down. And again, let us not deny the class of the Stingrays. They couldn't go with the Akarana Falcons, who will be next up on Sky Sports Afternoon of Rugby League from Bruce Pullman Park. They lost in the final last year, this year's grand final, on October the 5th. Still waiting the tee for the restart. Another look at the Stingrays. A very successful franchise. Sensible for it to break away from Auckland as well. Bulk of our rugby league talent. And in the big smoke. Big ups to our viewers too around the country. You're enjoying the action too. Through Sky Sport on the West Coast, got a couple of coasties turning out for Canterbury in the next game. They travel across the Alps for training. I'm looking forward to seeing them, as you will be too. Wonderful rugby league history, the west coast of NZ. Beautiful place to visit. Of course, when I was over there, down those ways over the summer, paused and took a photo of the old stand at Wingham, the ground, the main ground. It's a name like that anyway. Beauty, an old style charm about it, that's for sure. Big ups to our coastie viewers here on Sky Sport. It's time a turnover, I should say. Caleb McLean. Opportunity at the back here at the moment. That's a good carry. You can hear the thud of defensive effort going in from Reynard Haggie. Name synonymous with the code in and around Waikato. Justice Aliati has the ball on debut today. Cover a lot of bases, Justice. Terrific run here from Jamal Hunt. The ball has gone down, and Patello gets it to the far side of the field, and a straightened effort here from Counties. Stingrays. And again, it's that Hala Leo. What a game he's had today. Inside ball, runners are plenty. Right in front of the sticks, Patello eases into the acting half roll. Had to Radic almost put the ball down. And just too powerful out wide as well, and another try. The Stingrays didn't quite pick up the number that time around, Richie.
Yeah, they've just have good shape. One after the other, they're able to move that ball, and then they sweep around, and there's more shape on the left, and they exercise their right really well. Look at this, just numbers game here, the Stingrays, and so it looks so easy. But the organising of this side has been second to none. Tame Paki, Radic, Aaron Clark originally. And then you've had Leonard Patello, who's come on and just reignited the side immensely, another level.
Yeah, the shape's been good today. Mentioned a lot of direct runners, and with the middle third of the field was where they were coming too early. They've been equally as deadly on the edges, both edges as well. Alalilo, he's been very good. Watching what he's been doing, some of the work in time, but definitely on that edge. Player with some ability. And we'll be seeing over the next few rounds, that's for sure.
I see Spencer Taplin will be pretty satisfied with what he's witnessing out here today. He knows that things will get tougher, and of course, he lines up against Canterbury Akarana. Quite sure what Canterbury will bring to the table today as the conversion once again from Radic. A bit of a kicking display down there at the moment, eh? Monty, and Hala Leo has really controlled that left edge. He's been superb for Taplin.
Yeah, he's been holding his width, he's been holding his shape nicely, and when the ball's come to him, he hasn't chased it. He's made sure that he's used it well. That's what happens when you're off the back of some amazing go forward in the middle third of the field. Been playing really well, been enjoying the 1-2 punch of the 2 nines with them half players. That man, Patello, he's been good when he's been on.
The opportunity to call the NRLW next week as well. The Warriors at home to St George. Should be a fine game. Hope you're able to join us as well. Here's the restart off the boot of Caleb McLean into the end goal, and the distinctive running style of Connor Purcell, the head down, bum up attitude, the hallmark of New Zealand workers, and certainly the way that he likes to play his footy.
Put a P out! And square! Hold! Hold!
Just on the 30-metre line for the South Aucklanders.
Okay, move! Reynard here! Hold! Go, 3.
Dello. Bucky. Over the top, finding Geronimo Doyle. Stepping back on the inside, away from one. Current gets away from Sean McGregor, comes at him a second time, but Tello quickly into position. Just inside the eastern touchline. Bucky passes on. Back row keeps it alive. Patello likewise. Back to Bucky, spinning in the tackle, and he's to ground 32 from the line. Plenty of attitude on display here for Counties Manukau. Up by 52-10. The kick is deep. It's taken with skill and under some pressure on the far side of the field. Waikato have the ball.
A good take again. You know, under pressure, the ball sits high. It does come down when you've got wind coming across. It really drops considerably quicker than normal. So it was a great take. And again, Te Ronga Paimari comes into the fray. Takes the first carry.
Go, 3.
Well, he's been a standout performer and a team that's done it tough. That's for sure. Te Ronga Pai is another example. It's just a lost ball and some frustration there. A little bit of extra work unnecessary on Geronimo Doyle, put in there by Jerome Flood. Disappointed that he couldn't control that ball.
Sorry?
Interesting phase of the game too. You know, the third quarter, you enter in the fourth, and you're back against the wall. You're under pressure, and the talk needs to be echoed through the side. It's not to drop your bundle here. So important. 52-10. Don't want that blowing out any further.
Yeah, the competition is one thing, Rich, but you mentioned, but also selection. New Zealand residents up for grabs. The black jersey means a lot.
Miliano Michele with it. He's right in front of the sticks. Danger times once again. Patella with the ball pull pass from him. Dowie gets it. Decides I'll just flick it wide. George Edwards couldn't control it. Comes back on the inside to Nathan Simmons. And he straightens up. But you get the feeling that another one's not too far away. Purcell, he's already got 3.
Hold! Release! Hold, go, 3.
And that's an embarrassing effort. Aaron Clark is back into the mix, and he really schools them right in front of the post. He's not the biggest, he's strong, I'll give him that, Aaron. But certainly the defensive work there was pretty ordinary as he goes in under the post.
Well, he's just warming up on the sideline. He's just come on, and he's received the ball for the very first carry, and he scores a try. Got the block shape there, and look at that head down, determined run, right underneath the posts.
Yeah, he picked that line early. He stepped off the foot as he has a smile. Reason to do so. I believe he wants to really come back and another shake at this game of rugby league. First came onto our screens as I think 17, 18 years of age. One of the Warriors under 20s. I tell you what, he's been good today. He gets his second stint on the field now.
We will rock you, banging away in the background as well, and that's exactly what the Stingrays supporters, in fact the Stingrays players, will be saying. This is an unexpected scoreline. Just over a quarter of an hour to play as well. And, Aaron Clark came on, but he's got plenty to prove at the moment. Of course, he came back to play for Manurewa. I got a lot of respect for guys who recognise that maybe different lands, even though they might contain the greatest football teams of all time, don't suit where they're at in their stage of life. And, you know, we know that we are lucky enough to live in one of the most beautiful countries of the world. So if your footy career don't work out on the other side of the ditch or further afield, I can understand why you'd want to come home and play a bit of local club footy. We've seen it time and time again. Guys have had a shot at the NRL but prefer the home life, and Mama's cooking. Seems Aaron's settled down. He's still only 22. I think he's been around for ages because he was drafted in so young. Was it 17, Monty, when he first had a go with the Warriors 5 years ago?
Yep, 17, 18. I think that was the age. As we see it getting a little bit harder now for Waikato. That is not what you want. Extra penalties, the more yardage you just give away, you throw away, and then these big men come out, you press out. What's your bet on him scoring 4 today, Rich?
Yes, well, I played with his father, Steve Purcell, at Otahu. I'm sure he's going to. There's plenty of opportunities, and if they continue in this vein, I'm sure he will. They're good ball playing props. Been into everything.
George Edwards hasn't had too many opportunities, but he certainly won't let anyone down. Edwards, this guy's been one of the standouts. Look at him go. Might be a stingray, but he's having a whale of the game, really, at the moment. That's the big number 12 card, and he gets up.
So I thought there was a hand in there. Maybe he's deeming a loose carry.
Yeah, there's usually a hand in there, isn't there? Monty.
See him breaking through. Red gets up. Oh, absolutely. There was hand in there. Reason. I feel a little bit hard done by.
10 tries to 2.
Get together!
Waikato. Well, they know they've got plenty to do if they're wanting to be competitive. They've got 3 more games here. Or 2 more, I'm sorry. They play with Canterbury and Akarana. It makes life tough for you in this format. There's only 4 teams in it.
Hold!
The 2 top ones at the end of the 3 rounds will go forward and play the final. Traditionally, it's been Akarana and Counties Manukau, but we have yet to see Canterbury, and there are some exciting prospects in that, which will unfold later this afternoon. Soon after the conclusion here, we'll have the Bulls on the track and the Akarana Falcons doing battle. Down the short side come Waikato. They're doing their best at the moment. Sam Matangi on debut. Very hard work here for Henda de Raukawa, and it's picked up left footing. Hold up in the wind. A bit hard to read. Allowed to bounce, so that often becomes anyone's ball. George Edwards gets hold of it in the 20 metres. Comes powering into Caleb McLean. He knows the big winger has been a calling. Dummy half a Doyle.
Together!
Jay Elliott.
Hold! 14. It's 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
And you go there to Henare Raukawa. So played for the reserves actually, and he's from the Taumamutu Firehawks. So big ups to the Firehawks and our supporters in that area. I know you won't be so happy about the scoreline, but you'll be pleased to see one of your own in the Waikato strip.
Get up now! Give room!
Good attitude and leadership, we are told by Morgan Kutia, the coach. He won't rip into his players as well. He knows it's a step up in quality when they come to Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. Certainly been the case here this afternoon. Just outside the 40, Waikato with it. Raukawa, the acting half role. Aggie and Hayden. This is better. Into some space. Inside ball. And give the ball. Didn't bother about it. Now runs himself out of room. Lee Bristow. Somewhat disappointed. Dwayne Sykes was ranging up by him. Tulungapai Murray is wide if they can get the ball to him. Karina. And a little bit of a juggle from Reynard Haggie. So a promising raid comes to a disappointing end there, close to the line for Waikato.
I can think that Bristow thought that Dwayne Sykes was running in front of him, that he never gave the ball.
It's hard to understand. Nathan Simmons from the Manurewa club again on debut. Good running, Hayden Cardina making a decent tackle there on the 40-metre line. Out of dummy half goes Patillo. Here comes Aaron Clark. Puts the big fend on. Gets some leg drive, post-contact meters. Classy. 42 out from the try line now. And here they come again. It's the Stingrays on the roll. 58-10. We're going to see some more tries from them. Of that, there is no doubt here this afternoon. The ball's gone down this time around, though. Michaeli puts it to ground. Ground that's in terrific nick. Of course, finals footy. Live on Sky. For our friends across the Tasman, Fox, who bring in the action. And of course, all the associated shows, NRL 360, Matty Johns, the Crazy Professors, Antics and the like. Glut of Rugby League. And don't forget also the Rugby World Cup coming at you as well. So much on Sky, but there's plenty of reasons to be enthusiastic for the New Zealand effort. I'm sure it'll end up back at Sky at some stage. Pitching hard for the rights. So, with the ball here is Lee Bristow. I couldn't understand why he didn't drop it back on the inside as well to Sykes last time around, but slow to his feet this time, Lee. Peel off down to the right side and try to create something down that right edge. But up quickly, Simmons. Snuffing out the attack quickly. Sykes and Cardena now. Looking for the chip and the regather. He's done well there. Cardena, the ball back on the inside. And Sykes finishes it off with one of the best tries of the afternoon. Without doubt, long way off on the scoreboard. But right on the money with the flashy play.
Beautiful play. Hayden Cardena is shaped to go left, and then he's just chipped it over to the right. He's able to regather that very nicely, and then the players in motion with Dwayne Sykes. Look at this beautiful work here. Lovely pass, and an inside pass again from Haggy to Sykes. Brilliant work, good combination.
Great combination. Started from that man there. Beautiful bit of individual brilliance. He tries to pop it out there, and the halves combining. Very well done indeed. Just shows you that the fight hasn't stopped all day from the side. Yes, they've executed poorly. Intent's been clear though. Been really wanting to make pay and work hard up here. Dwayne Sykes scores a try.
You ever chipped and regathered, Monty?
Maybe under 15s, under 16s. I think I peaked too early in my day.
I remember seeing, it was Bobby Fulton. He was playing for Oz, and it was at Davies Park in Huntley. And they were playing one year. I was only a little kid. And I was fascinated by this chip and regather stuff. I hadn't sort of seen that in our footy. I guess we're talking, you know, the late 60s or something like that. But it's a skill, and it needs to be utilised more often, I think, because if you're not breaking three, you need to try something different. Keep doing the same, we get the same results. That time around, Hayden took it upon himself to think, well, I might be the oldest, but I'll give it a go. And it came up trumps, as did his conversion as well from in front. So just a little more respectability to the scoreline, 58-16. It's been a hammering here from the Stingrays, but hats off to them as well. Remember, it was 46 at half-time, and the tries came thick and fast. 7 scored, 2 of them to Purcell, went on to get his hat-trick soon after the break. And another couple more to Halileo, St. Aaron Clark. 3 tries now to Waikato. And they can only really improve from today's outing. Is the bounce. Waikato been better in the second half, Richie.
Yeah, better second half. And I think their conversion, with the limited ball and possession they've had, they're able to convert it nicely. So hats off to them. There's resilience in this side. There certainly is. Execution at times to improve, but it's a good first hit up. I think the belief that maybe in this competition they just need to lift it up and create more. But they haven't died wondering this side.
Sam Martangi, number 8, Ngarimu Pita, has been replaced there by Junior Tukinga. Again, just reminded of the genuine size strategy that Spencer Taplin's employed here. He's got some darting, smart footballers. Then brings on Patillo with that up-pace style from dummy half. It's compliments, but corresponds, I suppose, in a way to the way that Aaron Clark plays his footy. Hayden Cardena is wrapped up, 32 out from the try line. It'll be nice to see Waikato get on the board again. This time the big kick is launched. It'll go into no man's land. The bounce important. James Dowie steadies himself and takes it second time around. Talented fullback to play it now. 15 out from his own line. Another 10 metres made on the run here by the Stingrays.
Quite like that option again, as you mentioned before, Dale, just to change up a bit. He tried to spiral that ball up in these conditions. It can work for you.
Too long, mate.
It was a very good idea.
Hayden, too long, Hayden.
Bucky Parkinson's done a good job with the whistle today. Always willing to compliment our refereeing staff. That's something you'd like to do, and you certainly get the box seat, don't you, if you control a game of rugby league. No better place to see it from. And with the whistle in hand, there's Michelle Tamarua sideline. Hats off to the other touchy as well, Joseph Green. With it, Edwards. Great servant for the Papakura Sea Eagles over the years.
Go, 1.
Wonderfully committed player, super talented too, George Edwards.
Again, 14!
But this Stingrays squad stacked full of talent. We'll see Patillo using Clark as first receiver. Aaron has it, lays it back nicely onto Paki. Beautiful running out wide. And here's Geronimo Doyle down the right edge. Showing his class again, Geronimo. That's another try for him. He picked one up in the first half as well to take them to 22-6. And now he's there to push the score out to a whopping 62-16.
Tane Puckett using the ball nicely too. Delivery at times has been fantastic for the number 6. The combination between Drew Radich and Pucky has been fantastic. But there's a lot of space on the right edge here, and they've seen that. There's a lot of players in motion, holding up the defensive line nicely. And it was just a quick pass and a delivery on the edge to this man, Geronimo Doyle.
Yep, tell you what, there's a lot of tired people out there on both sides, not just the Waikato. Seen a lot of stuff through the middle and on the edges. He played out the back door there. Clark all running the overs line, but in the end, it's the numbers game. Too much. It's the ball down one-handed.
As mentioned, it's been a great season for Doyle, one of the top standout performers in Club Rugby League in the Fox Championship for his Otahuhu Leopards club. No surprise to see him in this representative opportunity. Very deserving is Drew Radich as well. Papakura Sea Eagles also has played for the Leopards too back in the day. This time he tries to drift it across, but the wind picks it up, carries it away. It's been very good with the kicking boots today, 62-16. Seems like a big score, and it is. But you can see improvements here for Waikato. Sad thing is, in a very compressed format and competition, not that many opportunities for them. They'll get games against Canterbury. Of course, Akarana, at the moment, recognising that there is a significant gulf. What's available here in the Auckland club scene and what might be available out of the Waikato club scene. Saying that, not accused him of having no heart. He's outgunned today by a team that were fully loaded and had stacks of ammo. What have you read in Aaron Clark's performance, Monty?
Yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with the young man. I've heard a lot about his new want to come back and play this game back here at home, Manjurewa, and now he get a chance to see what it's like against the best in the business when you get a little bit higher in the regional honours. It's been good today. Looks like he's in shape. His intent was clear. He's taking all the right options when you needed to. You saw when he ran for the try, he still possesses a lot of power.
Tanasio Kuia working the right edge as well today. The tough second rower. So Waikato will come up with the football not too far away from the hooter. Our clock info not necessarily right on song with the official hooter, which will sound here at Bruce Pullman Park. Respect the decision to come here as well. It's a wonderful track. They've half a dozen fields surrounding. A little problem here. And the referee has called time off. We're getting first aid attention for one of the Waikato players. Let's have another look at it.
Yeah, charge through there. First up contact was great from Helialil. Let's see the turnover. Oh, yes. Oh, it's unfortunate. A lot of weight on the neck. Certainly not a crush tackle, but...
Well, accidental. It's very hard to police the crush tackle.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's really only a term that we've been familiar with over the last few years, because it was just one of the risks of playing the game. And it is right that we recognise how risky it is.
It's when they drop, they hold them up, and then they drop down is probably when the call is necessary. But
wait for it. Wait. Go.
So it's been a try-a-thon. Here's another chip and regather effort as Sykes tries to get the ball, and the ball does everything to elude him. Well, that's it. The curtain has come down on the effort, and far too good here for the Stingrays. And at the end of the game, They've got a big scoreline here with just one play to go. And that's it. Full time is into the 60s. Go the Stingrays. They were very good this afternoon here. Obviously way too good for Waikato. A little bit of pluck from the boys from down country though. But in the end, the Stingrays showing that they are one of the forces here in the NZRL Premiership. Big try count to them, just counting them up now, 11 tries to 3. And a superb effort here for Spencer Taplin's County's Manukau Stingrays. They win this one by 62-16.
Yeah, brilliant work. Again, Spencer Taplin showing his football brain in this side against all odds. At times he had Howard Hornets pull out, so this is a master stroke. A new team, new direction.
Fantastic play for them. We'll hear from their skipper in a moment, Jamal Hunt. We're just getting them into position, but there they are, very satisfied with their work, as they should be too, the Stingrays. They were a class act from the get-go. They scored after 2 minutes, and within 10 minutes we're up by 18.2 So a solid hit out for them. They know that the tougher games are still ahead of them though for the Stingrays, finalists last year, and looking forward to be finalists this year as well. Let's hear from Jamal Hunt, the skipper for the County's Manukau Stingrays.
Jamal, congratulations on a fine win. What pleases you most?
Yeah, thanks, Monty. I think just the result. We definitely work hard during the week. Tuesday, Thursday, boys are excited to get out there. I think we've done the job. Definitely room for improvement for next week. We're going to have to come strong against Akalana. They're a good side.
Aaron Clark coming back and playing on TV. He hasn't played on here for a long time. How do you think his performance was today?
Yeah, awesome. I think he's got a goal to go on to bigger and better things next year. He's definitely an asset to our team. He works hard every training. He's developing and he's also a player. We're privileged to have him.
He can only do it on the back of your go forward from your side. Very potent runners, direct and deadly. Is that something you talk about pre-game, or is that something that the coach has implemented, or is it just what you do?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what Spencer's looking for this year. A lot of depth in our pack. I think we've got one of the stronger packs in the comp. A lot of big boys that play Fox week in, week out during the year. So a lot of big bodies. We're going to need them for next week. So.
Jamal, do you watch the next game?
Yes, definitely. I'll go home, put my feet up, get in recovery. Look forward to next week, so get ready for that.
Well done. Paparangi, how was that game, mate? I mean, it was tough early, 11 minutes before you got your hands on the ball.
Yeah, and we knew that coming into the game. If we didn't stop counties with their go forward, we were in for a tough day at the office.
What was said at half time, because it was an improved performance?
We had to show some pride in the jersey, and we had to dig deep. We knew that we had a little bit of advantage in the win, but just credit to our boys for putting in the 80.
I was going to say, for you as the captain, were you pleased with the second half performance? Because I can tell you what, with the wealth of possession against you early on, you really did come back strong.
Yeah, and we did speak about that at half time. We needed to take control of our field position, set completion. So we got a little bit more ball in the second half, and I think it kind of showed that we come back in the second half just a little bit.
In your own game, you scored a try, you're kicking the ball, you're passing. What couldn't you do out there?
Play 80, which probably needed to, but credit to our boys. We'll just go back to the drawing board, and this is a big step up for us, but we're keen to go next week.
Good luck next week, man.
Well, there they are. The Waikato squad couldn't go with them, but they'll be better next time around. You're watching the NZRL Premiership, and a big win for County's Manukau Stingrays. Still more to come here on Sky. It's the Bulls. They're lining up against the Akalana Falcons. Kick-off not too far away. Thanks for joining us right here in the home of Rugby League in NZ, Sky Sport.